Something that you would never guess that women are attracted to is him having...
We can already imagine what it's going to be like. Wow. So the right, he looks like really young and skinny.
There's so many other things you can do that supersede your height to the point where your height doesn't even matter.
There's this theory. It's called the triangle eye theory.
Ooh, yes.
The reality is people judge you within the first few seconds.
Literally first few seconds.
Have you seen those images where they're predicting what humans are going to look like in another couple hundred
bad.
years?
No,
they look like aliens, bro.
So the very last tip I would have for you guys if you want to become more attractive to women or perceived as a higher value man is...
All right, guys, so here we are for another podcast. It's very exciting. We've got the boys here again. Beautiful view, as always.
Bro, I'm pumped for this one. I think this is going to be super interesting.
I'm excited.
Yes.
So what we're talking about today is how to be more of an attractive man and also how to be a high-value man.
100%.
So that's what we're going to be touching on. We're going to be all giving a few ideas.
We're going to give a bunch of tips that you can implement literally today. So if you're watching this, we're going to give you some like within the first few minutes that you can implement right now, and then also some that might take a bit longer to implement that you got to work on.
And a lot of these ones have, helped us in our own lives, especially the first one, Chris, you're about to say.
Yes.
Which I don't know what it is yet, but you said it's a good one, so.
So the first one, obviously, we're going to talk, a little bit superficial about appearance, obviously. So the first one for me, okay, and it's...
I'm keen to hear this one.
It's a body part, right? Normally, women, you would think like someone with a big chest.
Like
someone with some big arms. Someone with a six-pack. But
yeah, that's me. Yeah.
something that you would never guess that women are attracted to is someone... Are you ready? Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
I'm just guessing what you always say about me, which is half true, but half not.
No, it's definitely not having a small...
Oh, okay. So what is it then?
So one thing that women love about a man is him having a big neck.
Oh, really? Well, that's
I thought
actually...
you were going to say like tricep or like wrist or something, because back in the day I used to do these like wrist exercises. Neck.
Wrist exercises.
Big,
yeah. No, bro, I've actually
nice,
seen that.
thick
I've seen
neck.
that.
Yes.
That's actually interesting. Have you seen those comparison photos where they have the exact same person with the same face, everything? One of them has a skinny neck and the other one has a thick neck. And bro, the difference is incredible.
Okay, so I've always thought neck relates to traps. So if you have big traps,
Nah, we're
you
talking
can obviously...
like your actual
neck.
Yeah.
Like the muscle in your neck.
You can tell you've
think so,
never
yeah,
really
muscles.
thought about this.
Oh, now I'm curious, because I think that for me personally, like I've always had a more like weaker and like less distinct upper body. So do you have, do you have a photo of someone that's...
We'll put it in. But so working in the gym myself.
Bro, look at this.
Wow. So the right, he looks like really young and skinny.
Yeah.
And the left, he looks...
And the only difference,
Wow.
we'll put this photo on the screen, obviously.
Wow, that's
But
crazy.
the only difference is the neck and, bro, it makes a massive...
All right, so how do you train your neck?
So basically, obviously, I've been working in the gym for a long time now. And I'd say once every couple of months, you'll see someone do this. Like, that's how rare it is. And that's how little men are conscious of it, right?
Neck.
So, and it always is someone that's doing it, and everyone's kind of staring at them like, what the F are they doing?
So maybe just do it
how
at
do you
home by
train?
yourself,
So it
not in the
looks-
gym.
How do you
looks-
train your neck?
So there's multiple different
Give us a
ways.
demonstration.
So like, for example, a simple way.
We can already imagine what it's going to be
A simple way. Yeah, well, that's the reason why it looks so funny, right?
Why?
Because it
What does it look like?
Yeah, just do
it looks like it insinuates something else.
Nah, it's gonna look sus with this.
So
mic.
so basically, an easy way without weights, if you want to like start as a beginner, would be to say you get a towel, you lie down on a bench, and with the towel you bring yourself up, right? Just upwards. So if I'm lying down, my neck, I'm just pulling it up and pulling it down.
He was careful with that
and
movement.
that's just adding a slight bit of resistance to bring it up and down. Then there's a lot of because
I might try that. That's
so
good,
early on, right? When you train any muscle, you don't need to start with weights. You can start with body weight. So there's exercises where you're just lying down again and you're just turning your neck to the side, but repetition multiple times. Once your neck gets a little bit stronger, then you can add weights.
Wow.
So you can add small weights, and again, same way. You put a weight on your forehead and you just bring your neck forward, right?
Wow.
I don't personally do this. Maybe I should. But yeah, this is something that a lot of women actually
I can see how that would make a difference.
I actually will start doing that.
Let's do a group.
Let's do a group exercise, which doesn't look sus.
I rate that. All right, next one.
So one thing I've actually come to know that's made me personally more attractive in the eyes of women. I've been told this, so you know, it's their opinion. But it is basically my tone of voice. So when you, So what I've learned in life is that as Australians, we all do this. So as Aussies, we kind of talk with this like really casual tone where it's like very, almost lazy and relaxed way of speaking. And so what I've found is a lot of the time when I've been on a date, for example, and this kind of ties back into many reasons why women like this. But if you speak with a lower tone of voice and you end the sentence, if you end the sentence on a more flat tone than a high pitch.
Oh, everyone does this.
Genius. Exactly.
They ask like, are you going to go?
Because you sound unsure of yourself.
You sound unsure of yourself. Yeah, exactly. So when you say a sentence like a statement, obviously question's different, but if you say a statement, you know, and you say something where you actually believe in this statement.
Like show us. Can you show us?
So if I was to say, okay, like look into someone's eyes and say, which is my next point. If I was to say to someone, the sky is green, and I look at them and I'm very blunt tonality wise, then it shows them that I actually believe that the sky is green. Whereas if I was like, yeah, I mean, the sky is green. It's almost like I'm asking them a question about my own statement. I'm saying
that's a massive difference.
The sky is green. That's cool.
Exactly. Like so especially with women, I've found that when I've done that, I can sort of see them change almost in a good way.
So end your sentence with a down.
End your sentence with a flat tone or a down, not an up.
You know, you sounded so good that we didn't even realize that he was saying the sky is green.
And you believed it, right?
I didn't even question it. I just checked the sky.
There you go. And so what you do is this. But on top of this, which is a key feature that I've had to learn myself, is when you obviously speak with a tone of voice, which is more flat, but you also maintain very distinct eye contact.
Oh, Bayley
so I remember
Bayley knows about this.
So what happens with eye contact? Yeah, he's very good at this because I'm going to say
he's
it anyway.
He's almost got too much eye contact.
At the church that we go to, that I used to go to, a lot of girls used to say, "Oh, you know, Bayley always flirts with me, but like he never reciprocates." I go, "What do you mean flirt?" And she goes, "You know, all the girls think that Bayley's like."
But when I met him, I thought he was flirting with me.
And the girls got all excited and stuff, and I go, "Really?" And they go, "Yeah." And I go, "How?" And they go, "It's because of his eye contact."
Yeah.
I don't.
And I was like, his eye contact. And then I started watching and observing from a distance, and I see the guy being like, "Yeah, true." Just like staring into their soul, and then he licks his lips at the end.
Yeah. That's why I didn't bring my missus back to the church.
Exactly, it'd be risky.
Well, that's interesting.
So,
I didn't even know that.
So yeah, eye contact's massive.
So eye contact is such a big thing to increase your attraction with women. So a way that I've personally done it is, I think that especially when they're speaking, you want to really just like showcase that you are absorbing what they're saying. And it kind of goes, you know, in many different directions as to why this is a thing that would make a man more attractive. The first thing is obviously the confidence, because when you look at someone, it can actually be quite intimidating, especially with a woman. So the fact that you can maintain this presence for a long period of time is one thing. The second thing is it just shows that you're actually interested in them. So it shows that it's not all about you. You're not a space cadet. You're not just thinking about all these different things, but you can actually maintain focus. And I think that perceives confidence as a man to a female. So anytime that you know, I guess are with a woman on a date, wherever it is, make sure you have that tonality that's more flat and also maintain eye contact.
I think you made a good point as to eye contact isn't just when you're speaking. It's also when they're speaking.
That's right.
And it shows that you value their opinion. You're actually genuinely interested in what they're saying. And you're not necessarily just thinking about what you're going to say next. You're actually taking the time to listen and show them value. Because especially as...
That's a big one.
Especially as
people
women,
notice that.
Especially as women, they want to be heard. They want to be understood. They want to be respected.
Yeah.
I guess anyone.
I think that's anyone not even
right?
just girls. I think in any conversation, if you hold... I think if you hold that authority or a way to like show your posture, even in business conversations and things, if you're 100%. Like looking down when you're speaking or like darting, your eyes are darting all around the room. If you're in business pitches or any conversation, it makes you seem unsure of yourself and the environment.
I used to do it in job interviews, and they would always say at the end, they'd say like, you've got really good eye contact. We appreciate your eye contact. Shows you're confident. You know, when you're speaking, you know what you're saying, and it's conveying a lot better.
On the eye contact thing, I know you've mentioned this to me before. I just want to bring it up because it resonated with me. It's not just when you're with one-on-one with people, but if you're walking past people on the street, actually holding a level head or looking flat or up. I think we mentioned this on another podcast.
Yeah, we did last episode.
Is really important as well, as opposed to looking down. It goes back to the same thing. You're unsure of yourself. You feel unsafe. It's like it's like you're keeping your chin down. You don't have to walk around like with your chest puffed like you're some hero, but it's just maintaining good posture and looking straight and forward makes a big difference as well.
One thing I want to tell the guys out there watching this is obviously eye contact can be very intimidating, especially from the start. So ease into it. You know, don't think you're going to be like some eye contact king from day one. And also don't overdo it to the point where you're staring into someone's soul, whoever you're looking at.
And there's eye contact, there's eye contact. Like if you're like...
Yeah, you're like...
Do you know what I mean?
Like a freaking owl staring down
No one
there.
wants that, whether it's in business or a relationship.
What I would say is how you can implement it today is by next time you're in a conversation with anyone, just try and like maintain eye contact for a few seconds longer than usual and just don't look down. Okay. So if you want to look away, look to the side or up, but don't look down. That's the main thing.
And
that's
guys, really this is a little tip for you with, women. So apparently there's this theory, right? It's called the triangle eye theory.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Right? So basically you look at the left eye, then you look at the right eye, then you look down at the lips, and then you look back at the eyes.
It's Bayley's specialty.
And for whatever reason, this triangle system is a way to apparently, scientifically, make someone interested in you or fall in love with you or more attracted to you. Go home, try this, okay? Not at home with your family. Go home.
Don't do it to your sister.
Because it might accidentally work.
He's like, did it work? I'm married to my mum. Nah. So go into the field, whatever that may be. Whatever you're into, whether it's whatever. Try it. Let us know how it worked. Did it work or not? Because I'm actually curious to see.
Just don't try
obviously
and pick up
I can't do it because I'm in a relationship.
Have you done it on her?
Probably like low key, like without knowing.
There you go.
Without
It works.
realizing.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's why you're still together, because you maintain that.
Every time I see it.
The boys are dropping bombs pretty quickly. There's some good ones we can implement straight away.
All right, what about you, bro? You've got some gems.
Oh, they're pretty hard to follow up on, but first one, super practical, and this is one for myself as well. But I think your environment plays a massive part in your confidence and how you...
Environment, it's like climate change and stuff.
Do you mean
your
like
room, your car?
Climate change,
one thing that people can
greenery?
implement straight away. I know some people are more organized than others, and this is for myself as well. But if you look around you right now, wherever you're watching this video,
bro, it's so funny. Me and Chris will like just mutter something under our breath. We'll both hear it, but then you won't because you're in the
just
zone.
went straight over your head. Like, what did you like? The environment, and then he's like climate change, and then I was like greenery. And then like he's just fucking on your zone.
I couldn't even hear you, bro. I don't have the headphones.
And I had to repeat myself 3 times, but you still didn't hear. Anyway, go on. So climate change. I mean,
anyway, super practical one. Look around you right now, wherever you are. If you're watching this in your car or your home, is your environment clean? Because that's something you can implement right now that will change the way your self-confidence and the way you interact with people. If your car's an absolute bomb, you look like there's rubbish everywhere, or like your room's a mess, that's a representation of how cluttered your mind is and how unorganized your thoughts and your environment is. So that's something, if you fix that up right away, instantly you'll feel a lot more confident and on top of everything, and that'll radiate in how you interact with people.
And on a less deep level, like if you were to bring a girl into your car or a guy or whatever, it's gonna look bad. Like you're saying, the whole mind cluttering, right?
100%.
But also just at like the surface level, if you've got shit everywhere, it's not gonna look good. Like I'm sure when you guys go on a date with a girl, when you used to go on dates, right? You would usually make sure your car's clean. If you were gonna bring a girl back, not that you guys do, but you would make sure your room is clean.
100%.
Like these are just surface level. You would want that because it shows cleanliness. It shows that you look after yourself, and you think it's going to be more likely for her to resonate with you or be more comfortable in that setting.
If you're picking up a chick
your car, bro,
and there's rubbish everywhere, it's dirty.
She's picking shit up. She's literally sitting. She's like, I can't wait to get out of here and leave this guy.
So look around you right now. Look at your car right now. That's something you can change in the next 10 minutes, and it'll make a big difference.
It also showcases trust. So if you see someone that is like literally like living in a mess, if you go into someone's room, it's just a mess, like Coke bottles everywhere, like things lying around, dirty laundry, like it just shows that their personality and their life is a mess. So if you were to even go into business with someone like that, you can't trust that they'll be making rational decisions, because discipline requires rationality. So, that's why personally, I always, you guys have been to my place. My place is, I would say it's very neat and clean, but I think as guys, we're inherently a little bit more messy than girls, but we can always tighten it up.
Next one.
Yes.
While we're rapid firing. Man, bombs are being dropped. one thing that I've really noticed, and this is something just from my personal experience, but it might be interesting to you guys. I don't know if you've noticed this before, but one thing that makes a huge difference to your attractiveness to females, but also your height, your status level, is the environment that you're in. So as you'll notice, your status. So
Wait, what?
Wait, sorry, let me rephrase.
Is that? Are you repeating the same thing?
No, I'm not.
I was waiting.
'Cause I was going to repeat the same joke.
No.
Yeah.
All right, let me reset. Okay.
Did we just do this?
I'm in a flow state. Environment.
What's it called? Deja vu.
No, it's different. It's different. The skill level or expertise that you have in a certain environment compared to the other people, right?
Okay.
So
true,
for example, if you're a bodybuilder and you're in the gym, you're that guy in that environment.
Yeah.
But if you're, you know, say you're jacked, but you're not really that confident in like speaking in a pitching scenario, just because you're jacked and you go into a business environment where there's all investors there and they're super knowledgeable and you're that guy who can't say anything valuable, your status drops.
Yeah.
So in
100%.
two completely different environments, you're different. So for example, me or other people who surf at the beach, your status is a lot higher because people think, oh, in this environment, that guy's like top of.
Just don't leave the water.
Yeah.
Just
So I was going to say,
just swimming for days.
Or if you're a business guy and you're at a business seminar and you're like one of the keynote speakers, in that environment, you're the
him.
man. So other guys respect you and other women resonate with guys that are respected by other males. So
so don't go play softball or something.
Wait,
I'm not saying don't, but I'm saying it makes a big difference.
I have a question. So 100% agree with you. That's awesome. But would you say to someone who was the master of their craft or you know their environment, would you say to them, therefore, usually try to stay within your environment, or are you saying you should level up in multiple environments, therefore you're more comfortable in different places?
I would say like general attraction, because we all know that, like, say for example, you're on a date with a girl, you're putting on your best behavior for the first couple of months at least. But then after those first few months, you still want to maintain a level of, you know, standard in every single way that you live. But you can kind of like, I wouldn't say drop the ball completely, but like you can sort of taper off to show them a little bit more how, you know, maybe you're not the greatest at something, but you're still trying and you want to become, you know, better in some field that maybe you're not good at currently.
I've got a way that guys can implement it straight away. So you could almost, if there's a girl you're interested in, you can almost bring them into that environment. For example, for example, if you're like a beast at martial arts and you win every comp, if there's a girl you're seeing or dating, say, "Oh, do you want to come watch me at my next comp? I love some support." You're going to be the man. Or say, for example, if you're really good at surfing or the skate park, say, you know, if you can guide them into your environment where you're the man, then they'll notice like, oh, he's actually the man around here. Or if there's a local cafe where you know everyone and everyone's like, oh, hey, Jamie, good to see you again. Oh, you're the man. Like, then they'll be like, oh, okay.
But I doubt someone's going to take, if I'm trying to impress a girl, I'm not going to take her to like windboarding or something. Like,
just for the same reason you wouldn't take a girl to some shitty restaurant.
Like, you know how you go to the ice rink, right? And there's that guy, you say you suck. You're stacking it all over the place. I mean, it can be goofy and you can make it funny, but what I'm saying is you won't have that level of respect where it's like, oh, you're that guy in this environment. It just makes a difference.
Or let me give you a flip side of that. Right. Have you ever noticed that some girls, for example, what they do, and I've actually encountered this before, they will, and this is obviously different for guys and girls, but girls will often make themselves less attractive on the first date to see if the guy has the right intentions for their relationship.
No,
really?
I think
I don't know, bro.
I think that's just your.
I think it's the opposite.
No, I've seen it. Okay, maybe not the first date, but like,
no, that's just your.
I've seen this sometimes. I've encountered it twice, I reckon.
Really?
So girls will almost
Twice
like want to know.
Girl or two different girls?
Huh? Two different girls. So a girl will often like, for example, like test the waters and see if the guy just wants them for one thing. So what they'll do intentionally is they'll downgrade like the way they look to see if the guy will still, you know, see how they'll basically like react with them. I literally know 2 girls have done this.
Yeah, but I can't imagine a girl in 2024, right, with so much about your appearance, with social media and so many social expectations to purposely go on a first date.
Okay, not first date.
Yeah, maybe
not
a bit
date.
in.
Not first date. Not first
6
date.
years in.
No, like second, third. In fact,
Really,
I know a guy,
bro?
Nick, I think would know who I'm talking about as well. She told us this, that she intentionally doesn't put on makeup, downgrade to see what the guy's intentions are.
I get the point behind it. I can see how that would work. But they know, like if you think about it, if you're looking for a long-term relationship, they know that you're going to see it eventually. So they may as well get it out of the way and see how you react. If you go, yo, you are ugly F, I'm out of here.
Or if they
want to know.
Or if the guy just never sees them after that, the intentions was purposely to,
Or
I think it's very rare.
Yeah.
I still think it's rare.
It would be rare, but I can see
Yeah, it might be rare, but I've definitely encountered it myself, like one-on-one, but also from someone else I've seen.
I think the risk of losing the guy because they didn't upkeep their appearance level is more of a worry for a lot of women. So they'll just be like, no, I need to keep like tip-top shape, make sure my face looks good, I've got my makeup done, nails, everything like consistently every time I see him. Until like they're comfortable, which it could be 6 months to 12 months.
But then I think some girls just want to see if that comfort will be like even tolerated in the future, so they do it early.
Maybe.
That's what I've seen, at least in my personal
experience.
It makes sense.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Next one, I have one. So another one kind of goes hand in hand with my previous two, but another thing that makes men much more attractive to women, and I've definitely seen this in myself, is walking straight. Like walking with...
So never...
No, having your posture straight. So instead of walking with a slouch, you walk with your chest more poked out and your head lifted up high. Instead of, walking a bit trashy or walking almost like you're scared of the world with your eyes down, your eye contact down, and things we spoke about before. But your posture also dictates the way that you feel about people that you see and also like how confident you are.
If you walk around like this, like all closed up and kind of like, it doesn't scream like manly alpha. It doesn't scream I'm confident. It doesn't scream like, what's it called? Like daddy energy. You know what I mean?
It's not a daddy vibe to have.
It doesn't. But as you said, I'm not saying you have to be like,
No, you don't have to overdo it. No.
But just to have, straight. And I'll admit, I don't always have a good posture. I'm going to admit. I think these days with so many people on their phones with typing, work,
we're just used to it. We're used to it.
I see it all the time with clients. They all have really bad posture because a large portion of people are on the computer. They are typing. Their job, 7 to 9 hours. They're, typing. They're on their phone, whatever it is. So a lot of people have bad posture.
Yeah, bad posture is so normalized in this day and age because, as you said, like we've all got text neck. Yeah, and it's like we just big. And also think about it this way, like if we were ever feeling uncomfortable, it's always our escape just to put our head down and look at our phone.
Bro, you walk out in the street
it's crazy,
now, you will not see barely any people, unless maybe they're running, walking without their phone.
Go to a pedestrian crossing. Go to a traffic light and watch how many people, as soon as they arrive there and they press the button or they just wait, watch how many people just get out their phone and just look at nothing.
Waiting for food.
You've got no messages. Like you're not that popular.
Be conscious as well. They start developing like this kind of like not lump, but like really unattractive.
Almost like scoliosis in the neck.
In the neck, where it's like this, and it gets to the point where it can't really be
reshaped,
kind of improved. Yeah, once you've done it for so many years, you kind of set like that, and it's kind of like curvature. It's almost like if it looks fat, like it just looks very unattractive, and it's just simply from doing this for a long time.
Do you want an interesting?
It'll probably make you shorter as well. Sorry, like probably drop a few inches, and as we know, height's a big one as well. So you don't want to be dropping any inches off your height.
Do you guys want to know an interesting fact that actually Chris's Cairo told me recently?
Thank you.
So I said, no worries, got to give you the credit when credit's due. So I said to the guy, I go, hey, listen, do you think the reason so many people have neck problems is because of us being on the phone all day or the computer? Do you think this has all happened from like the digital revolution? And he goes, well, no, think about it this way, because in the olden days, instead of phones, what did we have? Books.
Wait, what?
Instead of like looking at phones all the time with your neck down.
How long ago?
Oh, like a long time ago. I just
not
said
caveman period, did it?
Not caveman, no. I'm just saying like
wall writings.
I'm just saying, do you think it happened only recently? And he goes, no, it's happened for a long time because books were the same thing. Yeah, because if you're reading a book, you're still looking down. So that didn't give me many answers.
Have you seen those images where they're predicting what humans are going to look like in another couple hundred years?
No,
they look like aliens, bro.
Yeah. What?
The backs are curved. Our fingers. So you know how you're scrolling with your thumb? The thumbs are longer.
Yeah.
And like the way we're evolving is crazy. Yeah, like curved. It's quite ugly when you see it.
Really?
Yeah.
So Bayley actually touched on something just before, and I wanted to talk about it. I think height is a really interesting topic in terms of being attractive to women. And I find this so fascinating because it's so different for women as it is to men, right? A small woman, a shorter woman, I should say, is still found to be very attractive. Sure, tall woman, short woman, it doesn't really matter for a lot of people. I know there's guys that have their preferences, but generally speaking, it's not usually a deal breaker for most men. However, with women, for whatever reason, they have an obsession with, I know there's the short king movement, don't get me wrong, but usually height is a factor that they do consider.
100%.
And I think it's wild. I don't understand it myself. Look, I'll be fortunate enough that I'm 6'2".
You'd be like 6'2".
Yeah,
I think I'm 6'2". Yeah. So thank God I've never had the issue. But I just don't understand. If you find a guy attractive, like if he's good looking, he's smart, he's working hard, supporting you, all these things. Why is the fact that he's short? Is it a genetic thing? You don't want short kids? Is it like, what is it?
I think it kind of like plays into what we just spoke about with
safety,
posture. Yeah, but it also goes into safety and protecting and providing. I think if you look down, right, inherently, you almost symbolize that, like that looking down is, honestly like an element of perceived weakness potentially. So when you're in public and you're looking down because you're anxious, that's your automatic physical response because you feel anxious. Whereas I think if women were to look up at a man, it's almost like they look up to you, and they also look up to the point where they're like, you know what, you lead me because you almost lead from the top. But if they're looking down, it's almost like they feel like they have, I guess, the leadership role in the relationship.
Oh, that's interesting.
I believe that's why women don't tend to go for short guys.
Even my girlfriend, like when we first met, she was so happy I was tall because she's like, she's a tall girl. She was saying that she's happy that with heels I'm still taller than her. Like that's something she thinks about. I've never had to think about that.
Bro, it's
but
a
that's something
massive
she thinks
thing.
about because when we take photos, she doesn't want to look like a giant. She wants to still. I think also they want to feel feminine.
Exactly.
I think they want to feel feminine.
They want to feel feminine.
And if they look taller than the guy, they feel like a bit more masculine.
Exactly.
And I think that's a factor. But I do have a tip for the boys.
Oh, okay.
I also have one, but you go first.
Go.
So the tip for the boys that I have. Are you ready?
It could be the same one.
The tip that I have for the boys, in order, if you are a little bit shorter than you'd like to be, boys, get these shoes.
Oh, I was going to say the same.
So these shoes, I know. Okay,
what are they for people who are just listening?
So they're Alexander McQueen. Now, they are not, I'm not saying they're cheap, okay? They're not cheap. So you can probably buy some fake ones if you need, or save up, because I've had these for a long time and I think they're a universal shoe. They go with everything. I know we're not talking about shoes, but look at it's like literally a 2-inch jump. And this.
So you're like 6'4" with those on, bro.
Yeah, honestly, I am. I dwarf my girlfriend now.
Yeah, that's
so
wow.
I honestly think if nothing else, if it does affect you, a simple thing. Yes, I know it's expensive. Save up if you need to. Buy some shoes like this. They go with everything, and they'll make you that little bit taller.
Yeah.
So I know you're going to say something, but okay, that's all well and good with the shoes. But what's going to happen?
One of your mates used to put a thing in his shoe as well.
Oh, he did, yeah.
He used to put a little
wedge.
A wedge.
A little wedge, yeah. Okay, like I agree, that's all well and good. But what's going to happen when you're, say, dating a girl, for example, she thinks you're 6'1", but you're actually 5'8", and it comes to the point where you
always
guys
wear
go on
your
a few
shoes.
dates,
and you've got
to go to the beach, or you've got to go around the house with no shoes, or she's Asian and she has the no shoe policy like my family would.
You got to wear them everywhere.
You got to wear them to bed.
It's maybe just for a confidence thing.
But do you think a woman's actually going to be turned off you once she knows your real height? I think she would.
To be honest,
I personally think she would.
Can I say, I think something like this, it's not a gigantic difference. This is more for yourself. I think this improvement is for yourself to feel more confident as opposed to the woman. Yeah. If this is the difference between making me feel more confidence, and that exudes into everything I do in life, that I go out into the workforce more confident. When I speak to a girl, I'm more confident. Then I think that will make the difference. I won't care so much what she thinks because I feel bigger, I feel stronger. If that's the difference, I think that's a key. It's not for her, it's for you.
I guess your personality can come out more. So instead of her just seeing you from face value and being turned off because of your height, you can actually use your strengths to then, I guess, sway her into knowing that you're actually a good person besides the fact that you're short.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Height's a tricky one as well though, because without, like, it's not something you can change a lot.
Apparently you can.
Apparently you can.
I mean, bro, there's actually surgeries now where you can get them changed. But what I'm saying is, I think what's super positive for guys that gives you a lot of encouragement, whilst height is a big thing and you may be genetically blessed and there's ways you can fix it. But also for guys, there's so many other things you can do that supersede your height that make you way, way, way more attractive or high value. to the point where your height doesn't even matter. Look at all like famous rappers, biggest businessmen.
Look at Messi.
It's not a be or end all. Like I hate when people blame their height for not being high status. I don't think it's a cop out.
Yep.
It is something to talk about because it's real, and unfortunately that's the way the world works. It's a genetic limitation, and if you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. But there's so many other things you can fix, and I wouldn't take it as a limiting belief to make you go, "Oh, I'm not tall, therefore no girl's ever gonna like me."
Yeah, and don't use your height as a scapegoat either. Don't use your height being like, oh, I'm short, so therefore I've got nothing in the future for me. Like that's all bullshit.
Or I'm tall, so I don't have to work on anything else. I'm 6'5", so I'll pull anyone.
Yeah, Chris.
And I know, and I just wanted to add, I've got a friend. I've got a friend group, right? And in their group, they've got a guy who's shorter. He's married now with kids, right?
Yeah.
But they've got a friend in their friend group. There's a guy who's significantly shorter than the others. And I asked him, I go, has that ever affected him? And my mate was telling me not one time it's affected him. They go, if anything, he's actually used it to his advantage because he goes, whenever we used to go out clubbing or this and that, he goes, he would be the one, he'll be like the funny small guy, you know, and girls would love him. They're like, oh my God, he's so cute. They almost let their guard down with him because they felt like he was less of a threat or he's just, I don't know, he's cute, whatever. And then he would use that to, you know, pick up or bring a group of girls to their group, for example. So he was that guy. He was the funny guy who could talk. He was good looking as well. So he was funny. He could talk and he could bring the girls. So and he was short. So there's nothing. It's not. Of course, it's not amazing, but it's not a massive limitation. It's only a limitation if you make it a limitation.
I've seen that before as well. You're so right, bro. Because like they do. I had a friend a couple of years ago that used to film me a lot, and he's very short. I'm sure
do
you know
still
who I'm talking
have
about.
The friend? Or
I still do have the friend. Yes, I'm trying to not make it obvious, but he's very short. And I remember seeing him when we used to be like around women, and they just gravitate towards him over anyone else.
Oh, yeah,
it was like we thought we were cool, but like nah. This guy had all the attention. And don't be thinking like, oh, he's so cute in like a brotherly love way, because obviously like they think you're cute in, you know, whatever way they want, but you also have the opportunity, because don't forget how hard it is to break that first wall down with a woman in the first place to make them feel comfortable around you. You've already done that by doing nothing, by just being short. So like embrace that, and then you can use that to showcase, I guess, like your true talents and strengths.
All right, what's next?
All right, I got the next one, but before I tell you guys what it is, I just want to give a shout out to Getaways, our sponsor for the video, the usual sponsor, hooking the boys up with this studio. As we say on every episode, you know, the apartments are incredible. Have a look, check them out. If you ever want to stay in Sydney, if you want to have a night out with your new girlfriend that you get from all the advice that we've just given you, these are the places to take them. I think there's some not too expensive ones. There's some in Bondi, there's some in the city, some that overlook the harbour.
Regional.
So if you pick up a girl from all the advice we've given you, then you can take them to a getaway spot.
Send us a photo of you in one of the properties.
In one of the apartments with
your partner.
The next one, what I was going to say is, I think a massive one that makes you more attractive to females, but also high value in your social circles and among other men, is ambition.
Ooh, yes, that's a big one.
Ambition actually eludes a certain presence when you're in certain environments. So people can actually see on you the way you speak, the way you talk, the way you interact with people, whether you actually have motivation and drive. And actually, so many girls will say, if a guy isn't going anywhere, they're just, you know, say some gamer that sits in their house and has no drive or ambition. I think we've spoken about this in other episodes, but that's a big, big, big turn off. So if you show that you're, you know, whether you have a strong career that you're pursuing, you're investing, you have a big vision and a big goal for your life, and you're actively taking steps to work towards that, I think that almost trumps a lot of the superficial things. Like we're saying, the height, you know, all these other elements that you can implement today. If you don't have ambition, the other ones are void.
True.
So I know ambition is easier said than done. I know some people go through, you know, phases in life where they have no motivation or they feel a bit down. Build a vision, cast a vision for the most ideal dream life that you could possibly think of, what that involves, and actually go into intricate details. You can write it down or whatever, and actually buy into that vision of where you see yourself living, the life you see yourself living, the lifestyle, where in the world you are, and that'll actually give you the motivation to be like, and make it something worth chasing. And you can make it superficial as well. If you want a Lambo, then use that as the motivation.
Nothing wrong with
that. If that's going to make you have the drive to actually pursue things in life and take action and go after things, I reckon that trumps it all. And females will be like, man, this guy's going somewhere. I want to be a part of that. And for guys will be like, I respect that. I respect the motivation, the drive that I want to be associated with you. So yeah.
I think, I know this is not the point, but if you are a gamer, but you have ambition to, you know, be the best gamer in your country or whatever, because I know now it's quite lucrative to be a gamer.
Esports is
you know,
massive.
you start a Twitch account and you make money through that. So we're not saying you can't make money that way. I think Bailey's just specifying that you just play games all day, but with no ambition. You don't want to work at a job.
Yeah.
You don't see yourself doing anything.
If you're just using it as escape, that's what I mean.
Yeah. All right. So something that you guys can also do to be more attractive to women and also be more high value man is working on your, I guess, overall hygiene, your facial hair, dental care, this kind of whole kind of...
That's a big one, bro. Yeah, I'm glad you touched on that.
This area is so important because I know for a fact from, you know, multiple people that I've spoken to, women really do care about their hygiene. You know, if a man is, you know, takes care of his skin, he grooms himself, he uses deodorant, you know, like simple things, you know. Women like a guy who smells good, you know. I know for a fact if I'm wearing a nice cologne and I'll get compliments for it, you know. Women will see that as someone who's clean, showers, you know.
It sounds simple, but a lot of guys don't do it.
A lot of guys don't do this, and a lot of girls get turned off.
Yeah, and I think as well, if you're friends with someone that should increase their hygiene, like, you know, I've done in the past, you should tell your friends, you know, just be straight up, be like, hey, bro, I want to help you grow. I want to help you, you know, be more high value. I think you should, you know, improve your smell, breath, whatever it is, clothing smell, like just stop dropping fart bombs every 2 seconds, like whatever it is.
And they'll appreciate you for it.
Just tell them. Exactly.
I think it's quite unfortunate that men are seen as, you know, because they're seen as so macho and manly, they can't also be seen as a guy who looks after themselves. So a lot of the time it's like, oh, what, you know, use moisturizer, or, you know, you're a bit zesty. Yeah, I use moisturizer. So a tip that I
bit zesty or what?
Zesty.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's the perception.
He's a bit zesty though, isn't he?
Guys aren't supposed to take care of their skincare. They're not supposed to, you know, groom themselves to a level because it's seen as, you know, less masculine or zesty or whatever it is. But I know for a fact, you know, a lot of guys that are probably watching now, you know, are young guys who, you know, maybe have a bit of acne, you know, maybe want to, you know, bring out their jawline or whatever it is. So, you know, one thing I would say is that I learned is making sure you're always washing your face, you know, use a good moisturizer. And also one tip that I'll give you as a young man is never touch your face with your hands, like, unless you've just washed your hands. Never, ever touch your face. Like, ever. Like, I'm saying, like, genuinely never. Like, I know accidentally you might do this or that, but genuinely never touch your hands because your hands are so dirty.
Touch your hands.
There's so much, touch your face. Unless you just literally wash your hands and you're washing your face or whatever.
That's interesting.
Never touch your face with your hands. And
is it because of the oil?
Sorry?
Is it because of the oil in your hands or the dirt?
I think it's the oil in your hands and the dirt on your hands.
I always do it.
Because it's so dirty. I think I remember seeing this when I was like a younger, and I think it was like Kendall Jenner or someone. They were asking her, what's your number one beauty tip that you could give? And it was like, never touch your face with your hands.
Really?
And ever since then I stopped doing that, and I noticed my skin cleared up a lot better.
Wow.
So this is a tip for you guys. It's something you would never expect.
That's
don't touch your...
That's a good tip.
Because guys never talk about that sort of stuff. It's, as you said, very zesty.
All right.
So the very last tip I would have for you guys, if you want to become more attractive to women or perceived as a higher value man, is...
Oh, what is it?
He's building the suspense.
What
He's
is
good
it?
at that, eh?
Make sure your clothes fit you nicely. And I'll tell you why this is very important.
Okay. Really?
Yes.
So
So
not oversized.
when I was going through puberty back in year 7 when I was 13 years old, I went from normal shape to very skinny, like overnight when I was going through puberty. And so what I found was that this definitely affected my confidence because at that age, 13 years old, you don't really lift weights or go to the gym. There was no real way to bulk up. It's perceived to not go to the gym before you're 16 years old. So that's what I perceived myself. So what I would do is I didn't really know how to, I guess, make myself feel more masculine or just, you know, a little bit more confident. And I had to, you know, look through many different ways to try and, I guess, fill that gap. And there's many ways you can do that. Obviously, it's not all about looks. However, looks and how you feel about yourself and your appearance definitely do help. So what I got pretty good at was knowing where my weaknesses were in my body and where my strengths were.
Where were they?
So,
no one always wears tight shorts.
Yeah. So me being half Chinese and having a soccer background, my legs were always very big. And what I also came to know was that my arms were able to grow very easily. But the places that weren't able to grow and the places that I was very skinny in still was my chest, shoulders, and a bit of my back as well. So what I would intentionally do is I would find clothes that would kind of like bring out my arms more and be a bit more tighter fit around my chest to make my chest perceived as bigger than it actually is, but have my arms compensate for that.
Wow.
And the same thing with shorts. So I know that my lower half is definitely bigger even still to this day. So if I was, say, wearing a baggy t-shirt.
Like your legs, you mean?
Legs, I mean.
Lower
yeah.
half.
Lower half.
All
Legs,
of
I
it.
mean. No, all of it, yeah. So what I would do is if I was wearing a baggy t-shirt that would normally look, make me look a bit skinny. If I was wearing long pants, I would swap that and I'd wear the baggy t-shirt but with shorts. So when you look at the full frame, it's a different perception.
All right, so if you've got a massive package, should you be wearing some real tight shorts around?
I think you should, yeah.
I think grey track pants.
Grey track pants and doing those TikTok
bro,
dances.
that's some dirty tactics.
Hey, well, you had a
But, yeah,
stage
it's
where
good.
you'd wear like really puffy jackets as well. Was that to make you look bigger, or was it?
Honestly, it does help. It does help. I've literally been through all the rounds feeling
You
like
have.
I'm too skinny in the upper body. So I've had to like experiment. And the one thing I've found with myself, with my body, is definitely having sort of shirts for me that sort of like bring out the shoulders and the arms more than the chest.
Is it a women's shirt?
It's actually not. No.
Because women's, their sleeves are quite high.
Shorter.
Is it? Is that?
Nah, bro, these aren't that high.
Nah.
He's getting.
No, that's fine. No, that's good advice, bro. I rate
truly,
that.
like that,
Yeah.
like a
Your
little
arms look
1%,
good. Your
little
arms look
1%.
great.
Just
Yeah.
like, and don't be afraid of like knowing where your strengths are appearance wise and weaknesses, and try and mold yourself. It's the same as saying to someone, "Oh, that color suits you." It's the same thing, right? Just be aware and don't be like cocky about it,
100%.
and
And
just
on
be honest. And bro, you can always
That's
build
true.
something that's lacking.
There
And
are
on-
colors that suit different people.
Yeah,
more.
That's right.
And on that, I think what's really cool is you can actually craft your persona or your image based on what you wear, because the reality is people judge you within the first few seconds exactly what you wear.
Literally first
So
seconds.
the style that you want to go for, you can actually tie that into a certain persona. If you want to be the corporate business guy, then you can wear smart casual suits. If you want to be the hip hop street style guy, you can wear the baggy cargos and that's kind of fit. You can actually change your persona on how people perceive you literally by changing your clothes on the
yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool how you can like shape that, how you want to be perceived out in the
100%.
world.
And not-
Because
yeah.
it sucks, but people judge you instantly.
And not just clothes, but just change that little tonality in your voice, or change the eye contact, or
Yeah.
change your posture. Like, it's so easy.
Right, there were so many bombs dropped on this.
Yeah,
Like,
I
awesome.
think we've definitely
Yeah.
given some good tips, some good advice.
And if you've made it to this point in the video, you're obviously taking this seriously. So that's awesome.
Just start now. Start today.
Yeah.
Start,
Start now. You can
building
implement
yourself
them right
up.
now.
Implement them, and
if you guys have any other suggestions that you guys have experienced that you think work well, please
Yeah, we'd love
share
to
it with
hear
us.
Because we wanna learn as well.
We might learn, yeah.
bro, I'm definitely starting the neck exercise.
Yeah, you
up.
are.
I'm going to the gym right now, starting these ones.
Can you record it and send it?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, that wraps up the episode. Hopefully you guys got some value and we'll see you on the next one.
So yeah.
Peace.